CBS News finally responding to the claim that they deceptively edited Kamala Harris' 60 Minutes interview that aired on October 7th. In a statement, CBS News writing, quote, former President Donald Trump is accusing 60 Minutes of deceitful editing of our October 7 interview with Vice President Kamala Harris. That is false. 60 Minutes gave an excerpt of our interview to Face the Nation that used a longer section of her answer than that 60 Minutes one. Same question, same answer, but a different portion of the response. But many are still calling on CBS to release the full transcript of that interview.
Joe Concha is a Fox News contributor, and he joins us now. Joe, good morning to you. So this is a big development here, 2 weeks after Kamala Harris sat down with 60 Minutes. The network is finally responding to these allegations that they edited her interview to make her look better. CBS is now saying that's not true. They edited the interview for time. So what's your reaction to that?
Wow, it took 14 days to put out that statement, huh, Carly? Todd, I mean, thanks for having me, by the way. This statement 60 Minutes issued is absolutely meaningless. The only resolution here is for the program to release the full transcript, release the hounds, release the interview in its entirety from start to finish. But the network won't do that. You know why they won't do that? Two reasons. One, the people that run that network want Kamala Harris to win and Donald Trump to lose. This ain't about journalism. It's about activism. And two, they know by releasing the transcript or the unedited video, it will likely show that on multiple occasions, this interview cut the guts out of the various word salad the vice president again served up. Her campaign now is only reduced to talking about Trump. It's not working. They're not giving people a compelling reason to vote for her. It's another reason why Donald Trump is not only winning this election as it stands right now, but perhaps is headed towards an electoral landslide. The media and shows like 60 Minutes, try as they might, can't save Kamala Harris right now. Not only is Trump outworking her, he is outmaneuvering her. I mean, look at Sunday. Works at a McDonald's. That was a masterstroke in retail politics. Then he does a 1-hour town hall in Lancaster. It was more than an hour, actually. Then he went to a Jets-Steelers game in Pittsburgh and was met with thunderous USA, USA chants. This is Donald Trump's race to lose, no question. And again, that McDonald's move, all I know is you have to ask the question, did she really work there? Because, again, we have no proof of that. But don't worry, 60 Minutes won't pursue it. That we know.
Yeah, Trump is saying that she did not work there. But back to the 60 Minutes thing, look, they're not denying it in that statement. What they're doing is normalizing it. And this is what the media wants. They want to normalize these things with regard to the candidate that they love, in this case, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is a candidate because Joe Biden isn't. A new book claims Nancy Pelosi was upset being the key figure to oust Biden as the Democratic nominee. In an excerpt from Vanity Fair, the author of this book writes, quote, after Biden underperformed with Stephanopoulos, Pelosi expected that Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and the Democratic leadership on Capitol Hill would stage an intervention. But the men were MIA. One insider told me she wasn't happy that the only bloody fingerprints on the knife were hers.
Yikes.
The book also said Pelosi was the key figure in the movement to get rid of Biden. Your reaction, Joe?
Wow. I mean, this is where it's really getting ugly, isn't it? I mean, the fact is that the Kamala Harris campaign, Nancy Pelosi, they abandoned Joe Biden many, many weeks ago. Remember how poorly he was treated during the Democratic National Convention? They had him speak on night one of 4 nights, and then he was immediately sent out of there. Couldn't even participate in the rest of his own party's convention. Can you imagine this? And now it seems that Mr. Biden has gone out of his way to throw Kamala Harris under the bus when he's given the opportunity, and then drive that bus off a cliff like in Thelma and Louise. I mean, look at what he did during the hurricanes. Right? Kamala Harris, utterly ridiculous fight with Ron DeSantis, calls him selfish, and then Biden says, no, actually, DeSantis has been great. I gave him my own personal number. I mean, he did that attack in broad daylight. So the Biden people are not happy, and they're going to make sure that Kamala Harris is very uncomfortable in the final 15 days of this campaign because they don't like the fact he was ousted aside when he maybe would have done better against Donald Trump. That was the argument they always made. They may be right.
Yeah, well, and the new headline out right now is that Kamala Harris reportedly has no intentions of campaigning with Joe Biden before Election Day. So she has Obama on the campaign trail. She has Bill Clinton working for her as well, but not the current president, which says a whole lot.
Yeah.
Joe, we got to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.